All right, so we are back for another Wednesday accountability. Yes, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. This is just been such a positive month in general with all the energy that's going on with the energy of the universe. Just like a lot of stuff's happening, and plus it's summertime. There's all the events. Everybody's got a bunch of stuff going on. Plus all of our mentors, people that we are connected with, all the amazing people that are holding events and that are hosting new workshops and things like that. There's just so many opportunities right now. But what we want to do is make sure that we are taking action on all of our current opportunities and the things that are in front of us, because we don't want to continually be distracted by the nice, shiny new thing. And so it's really important that we have consistency in our day-to-day routine, and that we are doing everyday steps to get to our goals. And that's why it's so important, first of all, to have a goal, to have it written down, to look at it every single day, and to do our meditations so we can quiet down, listen to the inspired intuition actions that we are given, and then take action on those every single day. And so being consistent, I know I could be a lot more consistent with my content. I know that I could be a little bit more consistent on some of the other things that I'm working on. However, I've definitely improved. So I've gone in cycles, I've gone up and down. I'm not as consistent on the back end of my business stuff, which is normal for me. I'm really good on the front end, doing production, getting content, doing all that stuff. But the actual producing the content and then getting out to social media is where I lack, and it's where I definitely need team support. So at least that's my awareness, that's something that I need to have in my life. It's something that I need to work on. And that's all awareness is for. It's not to say you're doing a horrible job in this area. It's saying that this is not your strongest area of your life, and you might need to put a little bit more effort into it. So if you're in school and you're really, really good at math, but you're not so good at reading, you want to spend more time on reading. You want to spend more of your free time on learning reading. I love bringing up David Goggins, because he came from such adversity. And if you don't know who he is, definitely look him up. He was, and as he says, his overweight, Black, unhappy, undereducated man who really wanted more from his life. And he was in a dead end job. He was doing, I believe it was pest control. And he was majorly unhappy, horribly overweight, and he wanted to be in the military. And he actually went to the Navy SEALs, and they laughed at him and they said, there's no way. I mean, you've got every disadvantage that would cause you to not make it in the SEALs. And he was determined, and he knew in order to his strong points from his weak points, and his weak points were swimming and reading and testing. And so he knew he was going to have to practice harder at swimming, and he was going to have to learn the tests inside and out. And so he focused all of his effort on learning and learning and learning and reading and testing and doing all these things so he could have the goals in his life that he wanted to. And he succeeded at an incredibly high level. And he's incredibly inspirational. Definitely check him out if you don't know who he is. David Goggins, Goggins. He's an amazing human being, inspiring story. Just I love, he says, stay hard, like he's so intense and he's so on point with his life. And you don't have to be as involved deeply as he is, because he is very in on what he's doing. However, you can be all in your way on what you're working on. So I'd love to hear from each of you guys what you are working on currently, how things are going in your business and on your goals, and how are you on consistency? Are you consistently doing the things that you know are going to improve your life every single day? Are you working on consistency and what's a good awareness for you? So I'd love to hear from you guys and yeah, what's going on?
Actually, I must be on point with that because I was thinking about all the tools. Someone described all, like how do you meditation and yoga and all that kind of stuff, like what is their routine, and this person, and I don't recall who she is. Anyways, she described those as tools. And I was like, oh, like I gotta just visualize this tool belt rolling out. And I'm like, okay, that's really cool because I was thinking, oh my God, I want to do that. I've learned this, and all these things. And I'm like, I'm going to try and pack them in one day because I want to be consistent. And then I realized when she said that, it's like, it doesn't have to be all of them every day, as long as you know what tool you have and what it does, and being consistent in using the tool that way. So I've been playing around with what each of them do, and being consistent and pulling out the right tool for what's going on in my life. So
Very nice.
I made a list of everything that I did, so I know what was in my tool belt. And I
Nice.
was like, holy crap, I know a lot more than I thought I did.
I love it.
And then also it kind of made me aware. I was like, wow, I've been feeling a little lower frequency, but I haven't done this and this. I haven't meditated as much because I've been focusing on this. So paying attention to those things. And so I've been thinking about what I want to be consistent on maybe more frequently, and what are the tools that are maybe specialized that I use, as needed when something crazy happens or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been playing with consistency, and specifically I've been excuse me. I've been thinking consistency about, like, what are my goals? Like, going and instead of just, yeah, I have it and I did a thought of it once, consistently going back, what is it that I'm going for? Is what I'm doing helping that?
Right.
So, because there's a lot, everybody has a lot going on. It seems kind of silly for me to just say that, there's a lot going on in my life.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in everybody's life. So
Right.
everybody has this, and just navigating that and figuring out what is important and what is not. And then you can let go of the stuff that you don't need anymore. So being consistent in all the things, but if you really want to get something going, like I do, being consistent and spending time with, okay, what it is that I want to do, and being consistent in actually working on it.
Right.
Because I'm like, I'm an idea person.
Right.
I know it. That's my strong point. So my weak point is application.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm spending time applying. I don't, what was I listening to? I was listening to She's Unstoppable, and that helped with an idea, but there was something else that I was listening to, and I came up with something crazy fun out of the blue that I'd never really thought about, but it's like a sassy version of something that I already know. It was like, if you're stuck in the vortex of negativity, slap yourself. And I don't mean physically. Obviously, everybody's like, oh my God, and it's going to catch people's attention, right? But no, it's to stop, look, ask, and plan.
Nice.
So slap.
Yeah.
So that's, and obviously going into deeper parts of what each of those means. So like I wrote it all out, whatever I was listening to, I like paused it was a lesson thing that I was going on. And I paused it just so I could actually stay in the moment and write everything out. So now I
Mm.
have something actually written out that's like catchy enough that I can just record it now. So that's my next step, recording it, and then figuring out, I don't know, where do I post? Where do I put this? And I don't know that yet, but that's the step after recording it.
Nice.
So I've got steps, I've got goals now.
And having that awareness, that's literally why we're doing all this work. Like this work is specifically to bring to the forefront what areas of our life that we're lacking in, because if we don't know how we're falling short in our life, we don't know how to do things differently, and we don't know what steps to take. And that's what's so scary about doing this type of work is once you know, you can't unknow. It's once you learn, it's kind of like opening a can of worms where it's funny because they say ignorance is bliss. And I'm going to be completely transparent. I have gone, damn it. Why did I even go down this rabbit hole? I was so blissfully ignorant, right? However, in my blissful ignorance, I wasn't fully happy, and I wasn't completely settled in my soul. So I wasn't fully in my heart. I wasn't fully connected. My heart and mind weren't fully connected. I didn't have that heart brain coherence that I love. I didn't have that high vibing frequency to tap into every time I wanted to. And so it might be a little bit more difficult sometimes on this path because we have that awareness. And all of a sudden, when there's something wrong, it's glaring and it's on us every day, like a monkey on our back. It's literally glaring at us every single day that this needs attention. It's like the engine light coming on in your car. It's glaring at you every day. This needs attention. This needs attention. This needs attention. And so when we learn how to have these tools that we can actually handle these things in our life and we can shift, it's hard at first. It's chaotic. It's hard because we're learning all these new techniques, and we're learning these different mindsets, and we're tapping into different levels of emotions, and we're tapping into new techniques and tools to help us to get through these things. And it's chaotic because we're building, new neurons. We're literally creating new pathways in our brain. We're breaking covalent bonds. We're destroying old neurons and shifting energy. And it creates chaos in our mind. It creates chaos in our soul. It creates chaos in our emotions. And if we can get past that, if we can get past that learning curve and that little bit of chaos, all of a sudden we realize we have the beginning of mastery to something new in our life. It's like any new skill. And I don't know why we discount the emotional skills as much as like we do, like learning like an instrument or learning a new job or learning things like that all have a learning curve, and it can feel frustrating at first, but you tell yourself, hey, I'm learning. Like I don't know this stuff yet, and I'm still learning this. So it's the same way when we're doing this kind of work. Be easy on yourself. Don't give yourself an out. Don't give yourself an excuse to not do it, but be easy on yourself and realize, hey, I'm learning. There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be things I don't understand. I'm going to feel chaotic at times. I'm going to feel mad at myself at times. I'm going to feel like, why am I even doing this work? It was so much easier when I was just living with status quo. Why am I, bringing up, stirring the pot? Why am I stirring the pot? You're not, though. You're literally, what you're doing is you're learning to be a potter, and you're literally crafting a whole new container. So with this container, what you're doing is you're taking all of the best things from your old pot and you're literally starting to move it to your new container. And again, think of like if you're moving residences, it's chaos. When you're packing boxes and you're moving and you're doing all this stuff, there's all this stuff going on and it can be chaotic. But when we actually get settled in our new place, all of a sudden we have this sense of peace. and we have the sense of accomplishment, and we go, you know what, this was the right move. It might have been a little chaotic, it might have been a little tough, but it was the right thing to do. And so that's why we move forward on these actions in our life, and that's why we create consistency. So nice job, Pam. Yay. All right. So I don't know, Denise, I know you're at work, so I don't know if you can talk. Mahogany, if either of one of you want to go, I'd love to hear from y'all.
Yeah, I can hop on next. So I was actually wanting to hear what the acronym stood for again. Pam, the SLAP that you said stop. It was either look,
Oh.
listen.
Stop, look, ask, and plan.
Nice.
Gotcha. That was so good.
I had some funness around it too, because I'm like, stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the imminent style that you used to. Like, you got a pattern that's bad,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
I
You got
love
a
it.
pattern that's bad and you want to stop it. So like
love it.
I just like made it fun. All these little
Yes.
fun stuff happen. And then, it was great. Thinking about and then looking at just a quick highlight. So I feel like you want to hear some of this stuff. The looking was like Sherlock Holmes, looking around, taking out the emotion, and looking at the facts,
I love it.
because that's what he does. And ask is kind of like Sherlock and Watson's together, because Sherlock is like all facts, asking what happened, who, where, when, how, but not the why. Why, not why, because those are fear-based, shame-based. Usually they're very subjective. You'll start losing the train of facts and all that. And then plan all that information. You plan what your action is going to be from all those questions that you ask that are very open-ended. So then you have something that you do. Boom.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so good. I have to
You're
make sure I
welcome.
wrote that down. So for me, like I'm sitting here and I'm just like, I'm asking myself, like, what do I need to do to prepare for having a successful art show? Because I've got that coming up October 12th. Venues secured, bartenders secured. I'm still on the fence about food. But then a part of me is like, don't be cheap about it, because people are going to be there from like 5 to 9. So it's like, would be like, I mean, a charcuterie board or something would be nice. But the two things I come back to are just like reaching out to people, and then also just making more paintings, which I'm adding to the collection. I don't know, and I probably should have like a set number in mind of how many paintings I'm gonna have, but I don't. I don't know. I feel like that's probably like my blind spot. And yeah, I'm it's the first time I'm doing this, so I'm trying to give myself some grace. And like my therapist told me, like worst, absolute worst case scenario, I go and nobody shows up. And that's going to be a day for filming. It's just making all the content, like
Content,
manifest.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm planning on having an interview done that evening as well. And then I'll have that posted onto YouTube.
Can I ask you, have you set an intention for the event?
I don't think I have a whole lot of clarity around my intention,
Okay.
if I'm being honest. Yeah.
Because I feel like that might be a really good starting point for you,
Okay.
is to set an intention for the event. Like, what's your intention? Like, what do you want to have come from the event? Like, are you trying to sell artwork? Are you trying to get recognition as an artist? Are you trying to get more people to follow you? Are you just trying to have a fun party? Like, what's your intention for the event?
Ultimately, yes, selling paintings would be amazing. Just so I could at least break even. And then also just
Well, if
and
you're going to go do all this work, why not do more than break even?
right.
So
Yeah.
again, we're starting a small business is just as hard as starting a big business. So why not shoot for the moon? Like, why not
Yeah.
say, hey, I'm going to sell out my paintings?
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't put a cap on yourself for
Oh.
sure. Yeah. Also, I would say, what is the theme? I mean, you have as artwork, so like, are you grouping certain types of, I mean, I don't know what your art is, but like, what is the theme of the
So
showcase?
the name of it is Reminiscing Art Exhibit and Artist Talk. So basically it's kind of centered around like the interview that I'll be doing. And I've got like a friend of mine, she's basically gonna be asking me kind of like the course of like how I got started, how I even like discovered that I was artistically inclined. So it's kind of centered around that because the art I'm gonna have is it all one theme. It's not, I don't think it's super cohesive. But it's displaying a lot of different styles that I create. And,
So how
What can
many
you
people
do
does
to
the
make it?
venue hold?
up to 100.
So I would literally make sure that you're inviting 300 to 500 people.
Hmm.
You got to
Okay.
way over invite because only, 10 to 20% of your inviting will show up.
Gotcha.
And so you want to over invite, you know what I mean? So if you invite 500 people and even half of them show, or, I mean, not half, 20% show, you're going to have a full venue.
And
Hmm.
people will probably, and is it like a walkthrough event or is it like for
Kind
a
of,
short amount of time?
yeah, no, just like for a short amount of time. So it'll be from like 5 to 9. I have kind of put it up like in the Eventbrite, like under at the bottom, like list that like all the paintings are going to be for sale. Obviously, first come first serve. So like if you get there early, then you'll get a painting. Otherwise, towards the end of the night, like the paintings will still be up, but they're going to have a red dot on them, so they're not going to be up for purchase.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put a red dot. I'd put a big old sold tag.
Okay.
Like, again,
Right up, are you putting up like a description of it? Like
I
this
am.
piece is called my first piece and this is how much and this
Yeah.
is, you can put it right above it. Sold.
Yeah.
Just like Kat was saying, right there. Boom.
I have an idea for the food.
Oh, yes, please. Please.
Why not make it artist themed? Like if you're gonna do like, I'm just saying like burgers, okay? Like say you're
Hmm.
gonna do like burgers, like for
Hmm.
the mayo, have like paintbrushes instead of like a knife. Like so they take the paintbrush and they put the mayo on their burger. Or if they're like, maybe it's something you can like, maybe it's like cookies and you actually paint your own cookie. Like it's like it's
Yeah.
artist food.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
you
I
can
love
actually
that.
have cookies where you decorate your own cookies, or you have food that it's actually like, maybe it's like little crackers that have you've dotted, you know, caviar, or you've actually painted on the crackers or something. Like make your food artwork, like, or
Gotcha.
like creating artwork or something fun. Like you can make like little carrot sticks and at the end of them, make them like look like paintbrushes or something. Or I don't
Okay.
know. I mean, just like,
Interactive is always better because then people are actually experiencing it and then they're going to
Mm.
be in it and they're going to be looking at your stuff like, wow, that she took the time to do something that's interactive. What else is she doing?
Hmm.
And looking at, then they'll be taking the time to look at the art too. I
because
totally back Kat up on that.
you
Yeah.
can always do like a barbecue, and with, like I said, with barbecue you can always, like I said, just for the condiments, use paintbrushes for them
Hmm.
to paint the condiments on their food. And then, like maybe, I don't know, maybe the burgers are served on an artist palette,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean, or
Yeah.
Or you could put the condiments on the palette.
or you can have somebody make a cake that looks like an artist palette, or it looks like paintbrushes or paints, or
I like that.
something like
Yeah.
that, like,
Yeah.
so something fun and creative. And then how fun to showcase that, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
again, that's going to be part of your content,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
You said yours is the progression. Did you say it was a progression of your artwork?
Mm-hmm.
So like, have you shifted from one, what's the word? I don't know, what kind of, do you paint then
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
specifically?
paint.
Okay, have you shifted from like oil to acrylic or anything like that? Like,
Yeah,
how are you showing like a progression?
so in high school I actually airbrushed. I'm gonna have two of the shirts that I made in high school there
Nice.
to show. Um, also leaning towards getting like pictures put up of like old things that I've done in the past, just to kind of display like the things that I created before.
I
Themes
have a
go over very well. So trying a foot like the food and the cat and it was talking about like making it thematic is good. So
Mm-hmm.
if you did airbrush before, you could play with that somehow with your food, that
Okay.
it looked airbrushed. Maybe, you know,
Well, and maybe
also
do a collaborative painting. Like have a blank canvas and every single person that comes in paints something on the canvas. So
I
you're
like that.
creating a
Totally interactive.
collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So like everybody that's at the event actually contributes to the painting.
I like
and
that.
and then you can use that for a bid at some point. Somebody could bid on the last piece when it's complete. I mean, and dry. They could bid on it at the next event.
Okay. I like that.
I have one suggestion since it's open. Mahogany, do you have any pieces that are sold already in your possession, or that you
I
can get a
have
hold of?
one. I have one that I'm working on that I'm gonna have. It's someone that wants to buy it, but they haven't like paid for it or anything just yet.
If you do have some, I would have them there with the sold sign on it. So it looks like, oh, it's in motion. This is happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I
I
like
need to
that.
get on this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So just a
Like
little
creates like a
suggestion.
sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I like
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah, so definitely, I definitely, you got to get more intentional about what it is you want to create.
Mm-hmm.
Like you really got to get really intentional and don't cut yourself short because you have a tendency to do that. You discount yourself and you
You
have
know me well.
to cut yourself short and
We
you sell
all
your
do.
paintings way too cheap.
Yeah.
Again, I
It's
sent you
crazy
a
because
block of mud that sold for $1 million, sister. A block of mud, okay?
so the next I had posted it, but like someone, the last client that like got the Wakanda painting from me, um he forgot how much he paid for it. So he was going around telling people that he paid $8,000 for it and that was a steal. I'm like, sir, you paid me $3,000 for it. So the next one, which is actually gonna be bigger than the last one I made him, um, it's gonna be about 20 to 25,000.
So on the where you're having the event, also
Mhm.
is there a collaboration that you can do? So either like with paints or paintbrushes or canvases, or like can you have other businesses there or promoting maybe insurance, like having an insurance person there to insure art or something like that? Like some people that you could actually invite that would be business people, like
Okay.
having,
Vendors.
yeah, like for example, if you had an insurance person there to insure art, that would be somebody that you could be like, hey, do you need artwork for your walls for your insurance offices? You know, that
Okay.
kind of thing. Because remember, we talked about doing corporate artwork
Mm-hmm.
and inviting corporations, inviting, you know, like, so thinking outside of the box, not just inviting your friends and family, but inviting
Right.
businesses, inviting you know, like I said, paint supply places, Hobby Lobby, I don't know, like maybe advertise at local,
Coffee shops.
yeah, anything. I mean,
Yeah.
I would go crazy. I mean, like I said, over advertise, because the best case scenario is you have so many people coming through that, and again, why not intend that? Why not intend that
Mhm.
there's going to be so many people that basically you don't have enough art for everybody, and you run out of food.
It's a good
And
problem to have.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why not have that intention? And even if it doesn't, no matter where it hits on that scale, there's no disappointment, because your intention doesn't always have to perfectly match the outcome. But if you have an intention set at a higher level, the outcome it's a better chance that it's going to match that outcome.
Yeah. Because I feel like then the inspired action will align with the desired outcome. And that's one thing is I'm trying to, I guess if I'm being completely honest, like I want to avoid being disappointed. And I feel like that's why I've clung so much to what my therapist said about worst case scenario, like just make content. But like I don't want to dwell on that too much and then have that be like, okay, well, worst case scenario, that's what's gonna happen. And then that I'm not putting in the action for, like you said, for over advertising.
But so you gotta be careful, because when you focus on the fear, you
Yeah,
generate more ideas that help you to stay in the
to support
mentality and
that.
the
Yeah.
energy field of the fear. That's why
Hmm.
it's important that you're focusing on a higher outcome and a better intention, because then what happens is when you wake up in the morning and you do your meditation and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be sold out. All my paintings are going to be sold out. I am going to have so many people walking through that they're going to be commissioning me pieces. My collaborative art is going to be completely full because so many people came through and painted on it that there's not going to be any room for anybody to paint. All the food's going to be gone. It's going to be like the best problem ever. And I'm so excited. This is going to be like the best art show I've ever done. And having that every single day
Yeah.
in your mentality, what it does is it starts opening your eyes to opportunities that you didn't see before. Because when you're on the mentality of I have a sold out art show, all my art's
Mm.
going to sell, and it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to get commissioned pieces, you're on that high vibe and frequency, and that's where other opportunities like that
Line up.
are.
Yeah.
They're not down here like, oh, I hope people show up, and if nobody shows up it'll be just fun. And I mean, yeah, that's great, a great attitude, but why
Mhm.
start there?
Yeah.
Like, so you're already preparing yourself for nothing happening. And so that means your frequency is down here, which means you're looking at opportunities and you're not being inspired to do those things and take those actions that would lead you to this outcome. Because when you're focused on this outcome, all of a sudden you're going to have opportunities
Hmm.
that show up. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, there's this art studio that all of a sudden I realized I can invite all the art students. And all of a sudden I realized I can invite this art supply as a collaboration, and they're now going to donate some paintbrushes and artists, and now I have a giveaway.
Mm.
So everybody that comes in the door gets a raffle ticket, and I have a giveaway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or everybody that comes in the door, they get a ticket for a commissioned piece for their office
Mm.
that's valued at $10,000.
Yeah.
Because why not? You can value your artwork at whatever you want to value it at.
Yeah.
I'm
Very,
sorry,
very
but when
true.
bricks of red and green and yellow colors sell for $18 million and cauliflower can be pizza, anything's possible. So there's that.
Yeah, that's
And
so
I've
true.
sent you like post after post after post of all these
Yeah.
artists that are doing mud and getting
I
paid
think, did I send you the one with the guy in Miami that was like $176,000?
for what?
I'll have to, it was a painting and he's in Florida. Yeah.
You guys, literally, there was rolling mud. It was
I remember that.
huge mud, and it was on
Yeah.
a spinning thing. Somebody he put it on a thing that spun, and it was
Mhm.
mud. It was mud.
Yeah.
And he put it on this huge thing, and it was this giant, and he was like on a ladder, and he was like scraping the mud, and he sold it for, what was it? I swear it was over $1 million.
Yeah, no, it was pretty up there.
Mud. It was rolling mud. It was spinning mud. Not even decorated. It wasn't even a pot. It wasn't even
Yeah.
decorative. It was, he scraped mud as it was spinning. It was a column of mud. So, yeah, I think you can have a very successful show if you intention.
Yeah, and it was interesting because, and that's what I'm trying to hold on to, is like the vision I got when I God, it was just a download like I got from God telling me like the day I was at the event. Okay, in a second. The day I was at an event with a friend for a Mother's Day brunch. God just dropped it on my spirit and said, "This we're gonna have your art show," and then told me the date, October 12th. And then I prayed about it and got this vision of literally a line out the freaking door. So that's what I need to hold on to.
So I have a question for you,
Mm-hmm.
because I love you and you're my sister, and I can say this to you, but why aren't you honoring God's vision for you?
Oof. Oof.
Yeah.
I have something that I can, recently there was a meditation I did where, now this was planned out like a month in advance. And then he asked the question, so the vision that you have a year in advance was, okay, so what are you doing then 3 months before that? And what are you doing 3 months before that? And what are you doing 3 months before that? So you have a different timeline, but you can say, what are you doing a month before October? And what are you doing a month? Like you can use a different segment.
Yeah.
To help make where you got that fear base and bring it back up to honoring God. So you got this vision that you got direct download, and it's like way up here, and you're thinking, oh, how am I going to be way up here? And so you just go, okay, way up here. So how, a little bit before that, what am I doing? What am I feeling? And then a little bit before that, and then before that, and then this is where you're at, and then you can get up here.
Well, and just remember too, that in the multiverse and in our quantum field, if the vision is placed in your head and in your heart, that means it's already happened. There's infinite possibilities. It's you get to choose which path of those infinite possibilities you want to decorate your world with.
Mm.
You're an artist. You get to decorate your world any way that you want. And if you want to decorate it in suffering and in lack and in not enough people showing up, then that's one path. You can also decorate it in sold out artwork and in lines out the door and in your artwork hanging in people's homes and offices all around the world. It's your choice, because people are doing both every single day.
Yes, very true.
It literally is up to you. You create, you decorate, you're the artist. So
Thank
I
you
want to
for
hear from
that.
Denise too. So I want to give Denise time
Yeah.
also.
Hi guys, thank you so much. So good to see you. When you were talking earlier, Kat, about you were calling it chaos it's like usually at the beginning when you're about to start something. And I've learned it's resistant. And you almost need that resistance just to open, I look at it like a butterfly trying to come out of the chrysalis, and that resistance is giving you that strength,
I love it.
just to push through. And I'm finding that so much as I'm in new territory, being with you and holding myself accountable to do things. I'm like, as soon as I decide I'm going to do something, the resistance is so obvious. And so it seems so big.
Yeah.
But the moment the moment that I face it and decide I'm going to push through this resistance, it's just like nothing after the initial, appearance of it. And so I'm so glad to learn that about myself. So that one thing, but I was getting pretty hard on myself because I'm doing so good with the book. Thank God for your coaching. But then I was like, man, Denise, you're still a people pleaser, because the only reason why you're working so hard on this book is because you're being accountable. And I know about accountability. I used to teach. I think the statistic is 60%. You're more likely to accomplish something, 60% more likely to accomplish something if you're accountable.
Yeah.
To someone. And I know that, and that's just human nature. But my inner critic is like giving me a hard time about it. And so I'm like, okay, it's just who I am. It's just where I'm at right now. So it is what it is. It's working for me, So I made it work for me even further. And since I know I'm really working hard on the book because of me being accountable to you, I've also, and we talked about fitness too, but I've also have another person that's helping me, just a friend of mine, the super fit. I'm like, okay, at the end of the day, make sure I take a picture of my ring, all my rings are full on my watch and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't care. That's just where I'm at. If I need accountability, I need accountability.
Yeah.
And I'm using it. And so every night I show her my watch that the rings are complete, and I'm just making it work for me, instead of giving myself such a hard time about, oh, you're only doing stuff because you have to be accountable to somebody else. Like, okay. And
Yeah.
it
is what you claim it to be, though.
Yeah.
You either
exactly.
get to be, yay, I get to be accountable to somebody, or what the hell's wrong with you that you need somebody to be accountable to. It's
right. And that's what the inner is telling me. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going with it. Like, hey, whatever, it's working for me.
Yeah.
And so I totally, my intention is totally to have this first book of the 3 series done by, not done like all put together, but I mean, by the end of our course, I think we have 4 more weeks to have all the information in place, in place, and then to be able to move from there. So there's no reason why I can't. So
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and one thing I like about what you said about, coming up against that resistance, coming up against the resistance is what literally helps us build our character. Because if you think about it, it's the resistance that creates the butterfly.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's the resistance that when we come up against it, we either back off or we break through, and we become this amazing version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like, I'm always reminded of the Chuck Yeager story. Chuck Yeager was one of the godfathers of the Air Force. And he was a test pilot, and he was the test pilot that broke the sound barrier. Then the shortest version possible is he was going against resistance, and the plane was so turbulent that every time he backed off, every time, because he was like, this plane's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Finally, one day he was just like, you know what? The hell with it. I'm either going to die or I'm going to break through.
Yeah.
And so he pushed through when he got to that crazy resistance where his plane was about to break apart, and he pushed forward on the throttle, and he all of a sudden broke through the barrier, and it was completely smooth. There was no resistance.
Wow.
It was complete. He said it was silent.
Oh my gosh.
Completely smooth.
Woo.
And so, yeah, right. I'm reminded of that all the time. And so, it's how we learn, and it's how we grow, and it's how we get to level up to that next version of ourselves. Because all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I broke through. Now it's easy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like learning to play that song or writing your book. Your book, once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
It's recording my courses.
Yeah.
The one thing I was missing was all the recordings. So all the recordings I'm doing with all of you girls, like I'm using for my evergreen courses. And I'm like, oh my gosh, once they're done, they're done.
Yeah.
It's the resistance of doing them. Oh my gosh, this resistance. But I break through, I do it. And then I'm like, I am an educator. I am a teacher. I am a coach. I'm a counselor, and I have all my evergreen courses set up now, so it's that the resistance is so necessary,
Yes.
and it can be scary,
Mhm.
but it's so rewarding, and
Yes.
it's character building when we break through. So
Yes.
well done. Well done.
So
Bea.
grateful.
I'm so proud
Thank
of you.
you. Thank you.
So
I'm
proud
proud
of
too.
And it's so cool to realize that we need other people.
Yeah.
It's so okay to realize that we need accountability, because here's the thing, the truth of it is everybody who is successful is accountable to somebody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whether it's your business partner, whether it's your banker, whether it's your clientele, whether it's your audience, whether it's, again, that's where the consistency comes in.
Yeah.
Is your audience is now counting on you. Your readers are now counting on you. Your future clientele is now counting on you.
Yeah.
To bring, that movement to their life, or that artwork to their life, or the book to their life, or these courses to their life, your future, the people who are looking for you and don't even know it yet. They're looking for you, your vibe, your words, your actions, your body movement, your words on the paper, your paintbrush on the canvas, whatever it is, they're looking for you. They're looking for what it is you have, your signature, your talent. So you have people that only you can reach, and they're waiting for you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's good.
Well,
glad I made this meeting.
I know, I love it. And I love the consistency of having even the accountability meetings. And sometimes it does conflict. It does. It conflicts. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on today.
Yeah.
And so, but what's nice is having the recordings. People can go back and watch them later if they want to. Or if 6 months down the road, you're like, you know what? I really remember something sparked that day we had that meeting about consistency, and you can just go back and look through the recording, and you can just watch the Zoom, so it's, and watch it on faster time. It doesn't matter. Find what you need, it's not, you don't have to drudge everything out. I mean, a lot of stuff I watch on faster speeds just to get the message. Totally cool. So
it's good.
Well done, crew. You guys are on the right track. A beautiful meeting today. I'm really proud of all of you. Yes. I'm proud of your growth, and I'm proud of your consistency and your commitment to yourself for being here and realizing that, we all need somebody else. We all need this, accountability is a good thing. Being accountable to somebody, whether it's your partner, or whether it's your God, or whether it's your community or your business partner, it doesn't matter, but having accountability, it matters. And being consistent on your goals and your dreams every single day matters. So caring about yourself and setting intentions for your day, setting intentions for these meetings, setting intentions for your grand opening, or your book launch, or your next dance event, or whatever it is, setting an intention of changing lives and living your dreams and just being happy. That's what really matters. We're doing this to be happy. We're doing this for a joyful feeling, a feeling of feeling fulfilled and feeling connected, and also, taking care of ourselves in a sustainable way and in a secure way, feeling safe. I mean, it's so good to have a lifestyle, and it doesn't mean there aren't going to be problems. What it does mean is we can handle those problems when they come, because we have more skills, we have more tools, we're better adapted to handle whatever life comes our way. So as we come up against that resistance, as we level up, and as we grow as human beings, we know that whatever challenges come our way, we can find a solution and we can handle it. And a lot of times we can thrive through it and become a stronger version of ourselves. So I'm proud of you. This is an awesome meeting today. Go and just make magic happen. I believe in you so much, and I love you. And I hope that you all have a phenomenal week. I will see you all again next week. And I look forward to continuing our accountability. So love you guys.
Thank you.